Welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Today we're looking at a paper trending on X, published on August 1st, 2025, so just 4 days ago. This paper introduces a fascinating new way to visualize how language models develop their internal structure, and in doing so, they discovered a previously unknown feature, a spacing fin that seems dedicated to counting space tokens. The paper is titled Embryology of a Language Model, and the results are really impressive. The authors apply a tool from statistical physics called susceptibilities, which are basically measurements of how much a part of the network, like an attention head, contributes to a specific prediction. So, the work is already getting some good engagement on X. One of the authors, Daniel Murfitt, shared a thread about it, saying his team nearly fell out of their chairs when they first saw the rainbow serpent visualizations. He highlights how surprisingly consistent these structures were across 4 separate training runs. He also gives a bit more detail on that spacing fin, explaining that the model seems to first isolate the spacing tokens as unusual, before reincorporating them into the main body to form the fin structure. Alright, and here it is, the rainbow serpent visualization that got the researchers so excited. This top image is a UMAP projection, which is a technique that takes the complex 16-dimensional susceptibility data for each token and flattens it into a 2D plot we can actually see. Each point is a token, colored by its function. You can see this long, serpent-like shape, and right up here is that newly discovered spacing fin, a whole cluster dedicated to handling spaces and new lines, which is a fantastic find. So to make sense of those colors in the serpent plot, this table breaks down the 8 different token patterns the researchers used. You can see categories for the basic structure of words, like word start in purple, word part in pink, and word end in blue. Then there are more functional patterns, like the orange induction pattern, which represents a specific sequence that helps models copy text. And importantly, here's the green spacing category, which includes spaces and new lines, the very tokens that form that unique fin structure we just saw. And this next figure really brings the embryology concept to life. The top 4 plots show the serpent developing over training, from a simple loop at step 900 to the complex, organized structure at the end. You can literally watch as the different token patterns find their place. The line graphs below then quantify this development, plotting the average susceptibility for each token type over time. This confirms that what we see in the visuals is a real, measurable change in the model's internal structure. Alright, so to dig into that structure more quantitatively, this next set of charts shows a principal component analysis. This is a statistical method that finds the main directions of variation in the data, which correspond to the axes of that serpent shape. For example, looking at the induction pattern, we can see it strongly contributes to the 3rd and 5th principal components. This analysis essentially confirms the anatomical organization of the UMAP, showing how different token types create the distinct regions of the serpent. So, to put a timeline on all this structural development, the authors identify 5 distinct stages. These stages, which are laid out in the table here, are marked by critical points in the local learning coefficient curve, shown in the bottom plot. This coefficient essentially measures how efficiently the model is learning. We can see, for example, that stage LM4 is when the crucial induction heads start to form, directly linking the training process to the anatomical structures we saw emerging in the serpent plot. So in the end, this embryological approach gives us a fascinating new microscope. It lets us watch a language model develop its internal body plan during training, confirming known circuits and discovering entirely new ones, like that spacing fin. That's it for this episode.